Oh. Just click live. Launch. It's telling me I'm live. Hello, everyone. I'm just trying to get my own stream so I can share it. There we go. Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
Okay. I start shared. I'll give it a minute and we'll get started. Hi, Elaine. You're certainly live. Yes. But it was telling me I was live on one page and not on another. So anyway, we're here. Good to see you. Afternoon, Karen. Hello, Sue. Okay. So as you can tell, we're at home, not down at the bakery. We're on puppy watch. They've been asleep for about an hour and a half, which means in about 3 minutes they will all wake up. So at some point during, there's no point in me being quiet because they have to get used to noise. At some point during this session, there will be a recess whilst we hand one at a time outside so they can go and do their bits. And then we bring them back in and then we'll give them some food. And then there'll be a fair amount of snarling and the usual boxer fighting that goes on. So bear with us, yeah, today. Thankfully, I made this quite an easy one today. Yeah, I'm sure you'll get to see the pups once they're awake. Definitely not waking them up early. Anyway, we'll get started because hello, Jan, how you doing? A bit concerned that you mentioned Xmas decorating in a post. Have I mentioned Xmas decorating in a post? What am I decorating? Oh, is that the Christmas jumpers and hats in the members? Feel free. Come along on Monday night in your Christmas jumper and hats. Me and Sue have already got notes from each other, excusing each other that we don't need to wear a Christmas jumper and a hat. So we're all right. Right. Hi, Bridget. So a few things are tied in with each other today. I'm going to start with the panda rolls. I keep wanting to say white panda, but I know there's a recipe out there for white panda, so I won't say white panda. However, this is the whitest of the panda bread versions, and it's a bready version rather than a cakey version. So who knows? It's the one that those that have been making it for Hi Carol, making it along with me. We know that we've changed this so many times. So just ever so small variations. The one thing that I'm going to try today, though, however, is I've been wanting to bake some in the Foodie on air fry because it benefits from a very high fan speed, and that's going to be the highest fan speed of an oven. So I'm going to do some in the Ninja oven and then some in the Foodie to see if there's any difference, because I'm going to make a double batch here. So I'm going to make 6 fairly large rolls out of this. So it's 200 grams of pat dough. Karen, you need a note from Emma for not wearing a Christmas jumper on Monday, or you can sew yourself a hat. You've got enough time between now and tomorrow evening to make yourself a hat. So I say double batch. I'm just doing. I always work on like 100 grams for a recipe. So this is a double. 200 grams of panda flour. Yeast. I did leave the bag out. Yeah, 20 grams of yeast. So you probably can't hear, but I've got the 2 big dogs down this side of the table who are both snoring. And then the 4 little ones are all the way over there, also snoring, but much more gently. Although Lift can snore like Coco. We need some bicarbs. It is 16 grams of bicarbs. Okay, and a bit of salt. About 8 grams of salt. Okay. Just have to turn the volume up. Oh, it isn't very nice here either. Yeah, it isn't nice at all. Okay. So set the flour aside for a second because we're going to do the liquid mix. You can use 240 grams of yogurt. Again, this is natural low-fat yogurt, so the cheap stuff on the supermarket shelves. So it's the high acid stuff. I have got some buttermilk left over from a recipe I did a couple of weeks ago, which is still in date. I was going to give it a go with that because that's got a very high acidity level. And then to that, this is pretty hot. This is probably about 80 degrees, which is fine because it's going into the yogurt, which is then going into there. So do this bit first. It will bring the water temperature down, increase the yogurt temperature. So it's 350. Yeah, 350 water. Believe it or not, Sue, Ella's just gone out on the bike. Just combine them. This is, I mean, when I did, hi Heidi, when I tested the temperature of this last time I did it, it was about 60 degrees, between 50 and 60 degrees, which is perfect to go into the flour mix. So straight in. I did try a version of this sort of with an egg last week, and it does produce the bread, but it's a very dense bread, very tight knit. So it's sort of just hand hot. Yeah, it's not difficult to handle. And get all of that combined. It feels like this is Panda rolls. So it feels like there's not enough liquid in the mix to start with. Okay, it feels like there's too much flour, but just keep kneading it. It is quite a tight dough. We don't want to add any more liquid to this because it's always difficult to cook enough liquid out of a Panda loaf. Okay, so this is just pure Panda. Whether we call it pure Panda, I don't know. You know, pure Panda rolls, because that is the only ingredient really. And just start to work it in. You can use a stand mixer. Really slow setting. Just to preempt the question, will it work in a bread maker? I absolutely don't know. You would need to do this volume. You'd need to do this 200 volume. So it would be 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's about an 800 gram dough. But I just don't think a bread mixer, because there's no stretch in this loaf. A bread maker just wouldn't mix the dough because the hook's too small. So it's just hand kneading it, and it's obviously, you can see it's gone quite tight, quite tough. I have allowed this to rest previously and then bake it, and I've also baked it straight from this point. There's little difference. There's absolutely very little difference. It will rise if you want to prove it, but then it won't rise anymore in the oven. So it sort of seems to do everything that it needs to do in the bake period.
You know what you could call it? Better than pure.
Better than pure.
Absolute Panda.
Absolute Panda.
Yeah.
There you go. So it's quite a tight dough. So there is a fair bit of resistance in there, okay, already. So I'm going to divide that up straight away. I'm not waiting because I actually need some of this for my bread sauce. So I'm going to turn this into 6 rolls, which will work out about 100 grams each once they're baked, between 90 and 100 grams. Hang on, I can't do that at the moment. There's a deep snore going on down here. We're all struggling a little bit with 834 divided by 6. Yeah, 139, 140. You calculate 140. So what is it? Panda bread. So just pure Panda. So about 104. I'm doing them about 140 grams. Now again, I've tried this as a loaf, and it's difficult to get a big enough loaf from it to bake properly. Obviously, the bigger if I was to put all of that in the oven, you've got to get the center. You've got to get the center cooked, and it can remain quite doughy. So it would work as a sort of flat, almost like as a focaccia style. You could make something like that from it. Oh, 0. Okay, that should be the last one. Yep, it's a bit heavy. Right, yeah, so they'll lose 25-30% of their weight when they're baked. Okay, so these are all around about 140 grams each. 30% loss is going to be what is that? 28.42. So they're back down to about 100. So that's what you generally expect. So you can make them smaller if you want, because this will work out at that size. It'll work out about 5 grams of carbs per roll. It's quite a big roll. I'm just rolling it in some pound of flour, quick shape, press, and across. And that's it. So I'm going to put the first two. We'll put the first two in the foodie. Now, this size, they're going to take about 45 minutes at 180. Not done that before, as in I've not done it in the foodie before, so it'd be I mean, it doesn't really matter whether they rise enough, a lot, or whatever, because they can be this is air fry only for the purpose that it'll have the quickest fan speed. So if you think about the different settings that all of these machines have, they are relevant to air circulation or heat circulation, not just temperature. You know, what's the difference between bake and roast? Well, bake is a more of a lower heat, and roast is an upper heat. Air fry is that circular, it's that spinning around. That's why you've got those baskets. I'm not using the basket because there's no need. I just want to see whether the fan speed is a little different on air fry, because I get different results at the bakery completely with the same bread, because the fans, I can adjust the fan speed of the oven there to a really high setting, and I can change the fan speed, and I can get the same result as I get from home. So that's all. It's just me following a hunch. It's trying to work out why I can get quite big fluffy rolls coming out the bakery oven, and every time I put them in here, they're just on a tray, Kathy, low rack, and they're just in a little baking tray. I'll show you when they come out. Right, so this one's done. So same as 190, 45 minutes, but I'm just going to do these on bake. Sorry, 180 for 45 minutes. Okay. Let's hope they're okay. That's two things on full blast on the same socket. Right, so excellent. I'm going to start the liquid for the bread sauce, because making bread sauce is really easy, because it's a bit of bread and it's a bit of seasoned milk, cream, whatever, and blitzed together. It is way better than anything shop bought, way better. And also it's going to be clean as well. I mean, this isn't a difficult recipe at all. This is straight out of the First Christmas Cookbook, so KFC Cookbook. It's on the website. So if you want the recipe, go to KFC, type in bread sauce, and recipes there. We've used in that recipe 90-second bread. This was pre-Panda, clearly. Just replace the bread, follow the recipe, replace the bread for, I'm just going to use one of those rolls. That's it. So 100 grams of double cream and 200 grams of water. Okay. And this will make quite a lot as well. This will make a substantial amount bread sauce. This is essentially for our dinner tonight, and then ready for Christmas Day as well, if we don't eat it all in the meantime. So 100 grams of double cream. Oh. I've put a jug of water out somewhere.
Right.
200 water. And then to that, Martin, mate, to that, we're going to use, normally, I mean, this thing, we're going to use shallots or onions, but we're only using these for flavor. We're not actually consuming this. So I've got a couple of shallots rather than one medium onion, just because we don't have onions. It's going to stud it with plenty of cloves. Now, there could be a cheat version that you could make, which would be using a bit of onion powder, ground cloves, and ground black pepper. But I don't know. There's something quite special about the aroma that this gives off when it's cooking. So we're just going to push the cloves into the shallots. You want 8 or 10, whatever, in each one. So again, this is going to get fished out once it's been cooked. So we're not eating this, we're not using it, but just stud them into the milk. Yeah, I mean, you could halve this easily, Bridget. You could just do a very small. You could do like 100 mils, or third it, 100 mils. I think unless you've made fresh bread sauce, then you've never had bread sauce, because the packet versions are just dire. They're awful. There's no flavour to them, because this has got a nice deep flavour. It's not spicy. Can you tell me why you take the time to stud the cloves? So they all hold together. I mean, I suppose you could just chuck them in the milk. It's just something that has always been done. It's like, making a bouquet garni, a collection of herbs. You gather them together. Why not just chuck them all in the pan at the same time? We're just infusing the milk really with all of the... Yeah, it looks pretty. All right. So again, there you go. So that's them in. And then at the same time, I've got some whole black peppercorns, and they are just going to go straight into the liquid. Oh, here we go. Here's the big one awake. Right. So they're into the milk. Before he starts barking, so here's the big one. Yeah, I'm going to put him outside because he needs to do something straight away. Yeah. We'll give him 5 minutes to do what he needs to do. So the issue is now he's awake. Once he's back in, he'll go and wake the rest of them up. He'll not settle back down. He'll want to resume round 12 of the day. Good boy. He's currently not doing anything though. Right. So while he's out there and that's on, and he's put a lid on it. So cook the onion. cook the shallot for about an hour. Low heat, bring the milk to a boil, turn it down, cook it for about an hour, and just let it infuse the milk. That's it. So I've got it on high heat for now. I'll get it up to temperature, then we'll turn it all the way down. For later on, I'm going to be making the mini Black Forest bites. I'm just going to do some Black Forest jam. So frozen Black Forest, 500 grams. Yeah, I've got the right one. Yeah. So he's either telling me that he's ready to come back in, or he's found something he shouldn't have found. No, he's not ready yet. Sorry, to the fruit, I'm just going to add 50 grams of sweetener. And again, that's going to go on a low heat, but this one's going to go without a lid because I want to get rid of a lot of the liquid. I want to turn this into quite a thick jam. Obviously, it's quite whole pieces of fruit at the moment. Okay. Not overly sweet. You don't want to go too mad on that because it's going to be trapped with sweetness as well. So. Okay, so the onion liquid is just about to start boiling. It's found something on the floor to eat. Come on. Yeah, come on. Well done. Okay. So, well, let's introduce you to Zeth. Okay, Zeth is the one that we're keeping. He's
beautiful.
He's got very big ears, haven't you? You've got very big ears. He's also very, very noisy.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, however, yes, he's also going to go and wake the others up now. He's going to start barking because he's, yeah. Anyway, right. So jam is on. Bread sauce is on. Just conscious, I don't want the milk to boil over. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this for a second. Oh, there you go. Okay, they're fine. I'll just keep a listen out for the fruit. So I've just put that on high as well. As soon as I can start hearing that, knock the temperature down, just let that simmer away. They're both going to be there for the next hour. Bread sauce, Black Forest done. Right, okay, the new one. Hang on, where did I get that from? Oh, the stuffing. No, I don't need to do that yet. Don't need to do that yet. A boiled egg, yeah. Oh, I've got no need for boiled egg. A plate of chicken for the pups. Yeah. The I don't know how this is pronounced properly. Lebkuchens. Yeah, I can do the stuffing afterwards. So this is the recipe that I was asked to sort of handify a couple of weeks ago. Oh, I forgot rid of it. I had it open a minute ago. And I thought I'd have a go. And it worked out really nicely. Now, I don't remember having these prior to keto. Maybe I sometimes, maybe I on occasion did, but don't remember it. Anyway, the biggest challenge here was, oh, we've got a bit. There's nothing wrong with going a bit heavy on the ginger. Are you connected to the normal Wi-Fi on there?
Yeah.
Because it's gone really, really,
Yep.
really horrible. Okay,
Strong signal.
right, strong signal. Yeah, I've got strong as well. So I'm seeing what you see. Right. I'll carry on. Hopefully that'll just clear up.
Maybe it's the wind outside.
Maybe it's the wind
Maybe it's
on underground cables. Yeah. Let me know if your screen's gone all funny. Then yeah, pixelated. Yeah, so is mine. So is mine. It's
Maybe it's wind.
All right.
It says it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, we've been told that we've got no problems with our connection.
It says it's strong.
Who knew? I know it's saying it on mine. Saying that's weird, isn't it? Mine's unstable.
Right.
Emma's is stable.
Yeah.
So it's my transition rather than my transmission. Let me just see.
It's gone to medium now.
Oh, right, bear with me. I might disappear for like 10 seconds.
That's too bad.
Because I'm just going to switch router, whether that one works any better.
Is that the PT one?
No, it's the one upstairs. Okay, so it's telling me I'm connected. So let's just see if it clears up.
Let's eat in the whole tree.
That's fine. You can eat the whole tray.
What it wants to say.
I'll get started because it usually does clear itself up. The biggest issue we had with this recipe was honey. It uses a sticky syrup to bind the dough. It's clearing up now. You can see it. So I had a look for a sweetener syrup because erythritol doesn't make a great syrup at all, but I found a recipe and it works, and it worked well enough for this recipe. There you go, it's cleared up now. It worked well enough for this recipe. So it's not, again, it's fairly straightforward. It's just a little bit of patience. 150 grams worth of sweetener. And then a chicory root syrup. We've got some chicory root syrup. I was just a bit conscious of the amount that this recipe uses and the impact that can have. Oh, right, okay. Fruit's boiling, so bring that down. So 150 grams of sweetener and then 100 grams of water.
But also, it's not like accessible, is it?
Yeah, I mean, and if you've got sweetener in, you can make this. It literally just, it's going to take like 5 minutes to make this syrup. So again, I know any of the stuff that we use isn't, it's not cheap at all, but sweetener is definitely cheaper. You could just make this out of straight erythritol. So it wouldn't be very sweet, but let's face it, it's 99.5% erythritol, even higher, I think 99.6. And then you can always use stevia drops for the sweetness. But it's the erythritol that helps you create the syrup. So we're going to bring that to a very low boil, dissolving all of the sweetener first, half a teaspoon of xanthan gum, whisk it in, and it will set. It will turn to a syrup. You could flavor that. So you could flavor the syrup as well. I mean, if you can actually get hold of a honey drop, a honey flavor drop, you've suddenly now got a honey sweetener. Right. Okay, I see. Right, where's the tea? I mean, one of the flavors that's going in this is ginger. You could turn that into a ginger syrup. Has he gone back to that?
He's going to go back.
Wow. He's going to go back to sleep. He's had a face full of chicken.
It's just painful. It's covered.
We might get another. Hi Jack, how you doing, mate? Still not sure what this recipe is. Well, the cushions. It's on the website. I'm looking at it on the website right now. It's on the website. It's actually Elle's put it on the Panda website, and it's on the funnel site that I sent out originally. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so dissolve the sweetener. As much as I've got this ready now, it's very gentle. It's very gentle to make sure that anything that's sitting in the middle is going to get dissolved. What you don't want to be doing is splashing it up and around the side of the pan because it will crystallize. So very gentle mix. Almost all of the that's a great idea, sir. Ginger cake, ginger syrup.
Oh, this syrup.
Yeah.
I was like a Jamaican.
Yeah, it's like a Jamaica cake.
Instead of the like treacle.
Yeah. See, you could use the brown sugar as well. Again, I've seen posts today carrying the brown sugars. They do have, sorry, the brown sweeteners do have a little bit of molasses in. It's maybe a like a 1% ratio. It's very, very low. However, it would give you the right color and sort of the right flavor towards the ginger cake. Right? Okay.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
The gingerbread house.
Gingerbread house. Right. Okay, that's a good one. Right. So literally just coming to a boil. It's just the water's just bubbling on top. Okay. Yeah, half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. And then again, just a gentle whisk and it will break it down. It'll take a minute or two. Yeah. So just don't go mad. You're not trying to whisk cream here. Can we make we can make these, absolutely. Yes, we can make these. There's a few things that I've added to the list, or I've sort of got in mind for you as well, like next week, Heidi. So the xanthan will almost sit on top to start with, and it'll look like it's not combining. Just keep going. It will turn the liquid cloudy. We can do the ginger cake as well, Heidi. We'll save that for if we're going to make a batch of this syrup. We can do a couple of batches of the different flavored syrups. Golden syrup. Right, it's starting to turn syrupy. Just going to increase the temperature just a little bit. Just want to get the bubbling, that again, that slow bubble. Turn it into the syrup, and then we're going to chuck the butter at it. I mean, so it does turn it into a golden. Sue always wants the recipes first, Heidi. However, we'll do the ginger cake, next Sunday as a first. So Sue's going to have to wait. It definitely doesn't like my connection, does it? Right, so what do we need? 85 grams of butter. It can go in as a block. 92. Because it's just going to sit there and melt. We're not cooking it. We're just going to, there you go. So the syrup, it's a very light syrup. I mean, you could maybe, you don't need too thick. It's perfect for what we're going to be using it for. Make it too thick, you'll never be able to make a dough out of it. That's a perfect consistency. Butter in, heat off, leave it alone. The butter's just going to melt in that now. Okay, so we don't need to cook it out. It's just going to melt in there because we're going to pour that, or we're going to make the flour mix and then combine the two. So we do want that to reduce in temperature a little bit before we try and handle it, because right now that's 100 odd degrees. Flour mix or cake mix, biscuit. So good.
Cobs look good.
Sorry? Cobs look good. Yes, those are looking good. I can't put the light on because the light bulb was blown. I don't want to open that. I'd love to see what's happened after 20 minutes. So they've been on for 22 minutes now. Yeah. Okay. Right. I'll do the flour mix in here. So 65 grams of panda.
Maybe just have to have the hinges on to keep them.
Keep them quiet.
Yeah.
100 grams of ground almonds. For anyone, wow, look at that. What are you doing? You know, here's the benefit of doing it down at the bakery when we've got a stronger signal. Yeah, it was going to tell me that mine's weak again. Yeah.
They're going.
Yeah, but mine's weak, and yet we're on the same signal. Okay, 100 grams of ground almonds. If you're out shopping for them at the moment, Morrison's, 99 pence for a bag of 150 grams, which works out at £6.60 a kilo. Believe me, that's cheap. That is cheap, really cheap. I recently bought a bag of the catering ground almonds, and they're around about £11 a kilo. So, yeah. Oh, cool. So anyway, 100 grams. Oh, wrong one. I've moved the cushions. 100 grams of ground almonds. So if you've got a Morrison's nearby, you've gone stock up. So I guarantee you're not going to get that for very long. You what, sorry? Yeah. 5 grams of baking powder. Yeah. 3 grams of bicarb. A pinch of salt. Mixed spice, ground ginger. So this is, again, that's an optional extra, really. I left it in the recipe because I think it really needs it. The first batch that I did, I didn't add it, and I was like, a little bit wishy-washy. It depends whether you like a good strong ginger flavour or not. because obviously mixed spice contains ginger already. So it is to intensify the gingeriness of the biscuit.
Sounds like we'll have to order a kilo of ginger for next
Oh, we
week.
got plenty of ginger. Got plenty of ginger. So 15 grams of mixed spice. And an additional 5 grams of ground ginger, optional. Right, that's everything in there. So I've got an orange here. I'm going to use the zest of one orange. Again, this is an optional flavor. But I think it works quite nicely with the biscuit. Okay. Well, you decide to do or don't. I mean, it is to follow the lifestyle is more about what are your goals? What's the reason you're doing it? You know, a lot of people come into it because it's a health reason, diabetes, you know, stamina, weight, you know. So I think initially, why did you ever start? What was the first thoughts? What was the purpose? What was the reason you went? I'm going to go and do it. Then think about how it worked for you. What happened when you did? And then, if anyone ever says to me, "Well, I just miss out on," it's absolute nonsense. It's nonsense. The only thing you're ever going to miss out is somebody having made something for you, because pretty much everything, is doable. As I'm sort of proving every week. Yeah, we know it's. Oh, seems to be a picture on Facebook, clear on YouTube. Okay, I can only see one version, and it's fuzzy. My connection's dodgy. Emma's connection isn't. We're sat 2 feet away from each other, so don't know. So I suppose, and I presume you can hear me better than you can see me. All I'm doing now is I'm going to squeeze the orange into the mix, and then we're going to add the liquid. I suppose it's think about why you're going to do it at all. No volume now. What the hell's going on? Sue, can you hear me? Which sounds a bit strange, because if you can't hear me, then you're not going to hear that. Does anyone else having volume issues? Volume fine. Okay. Your volume, Karen. Okay. I'm sure if there was more volume issues, I'd see more people talk about it. Right. Okay. There's enough people saying you can hear me. All right. So, sorry, who was it? Nam. Okay. So,
What do you mean?
I mean, I suppose you sort of said you did well but fallen out. Okay, did well. What were you doing when you were doing it well? And then why did you fall off? What was the reason? Because sometimes it's occasions where you think you need to, you know, eat something that somebody else is eating because it's their occasion. Did it for health reasons. Right, okay. So I suppose it's developing the new habits, understanding that cravings change. You can make things to help you start that process. Let me just do this. I'm happy to talk while I'm doing it. I just want to explain what I'm doing now. So this is going to be still fairly hot, okay? So don't go fingers in. Make a well. Get the mix in. So you can see it is like a golden syrup, yeah? Get everything in. And then bring it together. You'll be able to get hands in there in a minute, but just get the mix going first. I suppose great advice there. It's starting slowly, taking it one meal at a time. I think a lot of people, and again, we're almost at the end of the year, which means we're right at the back of the beginning of, a lot of people's journeys start on the 2nd of January, whatever it will be this year. And people will try and change everything. And changing everything today or tomorrow is just not possible. But changing something is. So changing, I always start with, can you drop the worst of the worst? Can you drop the potatoes, the rice, the pasta, and the junk food? Because if you can do that, you've eliminated a huge amount of carbs. Even if it is, can you start with changing what breakfast was into what breakfast will be from now onwards? Don't think about what other people do, because what we do 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the line is completely different to what somebody will do day one. So the simplifying it is, what are you going to have for breakfast tomorrow? What's that? What is it normally? What can it be that makes it better? And then do lunch. What is lunch normal? I understand cravings, but if you're eating the right things at the right time, it's surprising how little the cravings will bother you. Okay, so low energy is probably down to electrolytes. It's down to probably not eating enough. Electrolytes would be the first thing. So not consuming enough in the way of magnesium, potassium. So just the simple standard electrolytes. Making sure you're consuming enough in the way of proteins and fats. You will change your levels of carbs, proteins, and fats as you go along. But if you cut out all of your carbs and you go to a higher fat ratio, you're cutting out a lot of electrolytes that would have come with those carbs. So you need to find them elsewhere. You need to drink them. You need to add some supplementation in there. Energy dips are normal if you're doing any sort of high activity at the beginning. But if it's just general day-to-day, then that's just electrolytes. There you go. There's our dough for the biscuits. I'm just going to let that rest for a couple of minutes, okay? Although it is quite cool now, so I can handle that straight away. It's just to make sure that it wasn't too hot. As I said, rest for a few minutes. And what else have I got on my... No, I'll portion these out now. I'll portion these out. Right. Ooh, right, okay, 11 minutes and the rolls are ready. Yes, so perfect. So I can get the rolls off and these in. I use that. This one. So I've got a little scoopy scoop. For this, I'm just going to divide it up. They're probably 20 grams, 22 grams, something like that. 26. They don't grow out much, so I can get a row of 4. If you want them a little bit, you can shape these if you want. I mean, we can press them down just a little bit, but I quite like them, and they bake perfectly well in this little mini dome. if you're on Facebook, come and join the public group. You put a link into the public group. You know how to do that? Just go to the public group.
Yeah.
Click the hyperlink in the URL.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and just add that. Come and join us in the group. Clearly, there's going to be a lot of new members coming through in the next few weeks. It's a free group. Just as long as you're a real person on Facebook, then you'll get in. Don't forget what scoop size. There's no number on this because this is a domestic one. The commercial ones have numbers on them. Yeah, there's no number. Do you know what, Kathy? Okay, so I'll tell you what scoop size it is, Kathy. It's a 40. How do I know it's a 40?
40 what, sorry? 40.
The scoop size is a 40. How do I know it's a 40? There you go, we're clear. Right, okay. If anyone can give me the answer to why this is a 40, and it's got to be correct, the answer's got to be correct, I'll send you a box of these things, these biscuits, the cushions. There you go. You've got to get the answer spot on. Sue, you're not allowed to join in.
Oh.
Is that a melon? No, it's a melon baller, maybe. Yeah, I've got several of these. This is just a little domestic one. I think Louis got this for something actually. I don't remember buying one this small, and it is a domestic one. It's not a. So it's a 40 scoop. Honestly, Martin, were you paying attention?
Is it something to do with
That's it.
egg yolk?
No, that's it. What Martin says there.
Oh, Martin gets the good.
I must have. Have I said that in a workshop?
Probably.
There you go. It relates to how many scoops you get out of the kilo of product, whatever it is. So each, no, so cooked, so a cooked thing. So each, like a biscuit dough or a bread dough or a cake mix, you get X amount of portions per kilo.
Is that to save time on mass?
Yeah. So you don't have to measure it. So essentially, you see me doing it. So you can use the bowl, which is a bit more difficult. You can press it into the bowl and get a nice flat edge.
Yeah.
I sort of just push it in, roll the back of my palm across it, and it's a nice and flat dough ball. Can't stop watching. Sorry, the messages are sort of tucked in behind the camera, so I can see two words and then have to move. You know what? Looks like I'm going to get almost perfect amount out of here. So what did I get out of this? Got 20 out, or 20 something out of this. I said it in public. Honestly. Well, at least you're paying attention, Martin.
Yeah.
Like nobody else does. At least someone was listening. See you later, Sandra.
Hi, Martin.
Well, I got 20 out of that. And a bit. Actually, it's not far off, is it? If you look at it, 150, 250, 250, 300. Yeah. Now what? We're pretty damn close. I'm going to see if I can sneak this one in somewhere. I say they only puff up a little bit. So we should be able to create a little bit of space there. I'll do it that way around. There you go. There's a slightly bigger one there. Make it 180. Make it 180. Make it 180. We have been very lucky so far. They are on their absolute best behavior.
tonight will be atrocious.
Yeah. It means we're going to be awake most of the night. So this is the last Sunday. We're going to have all 4 of them. So 3 of them go to their new homes on Saturday next week. And as sad as that might appear to some people, the fact that we have to sleep in segments of 4 or 5 hour shifts and then come and spend a couple of hours entertaining pups and then go back to bed, we're actually quite looking forward to see what it's like to sleep for more than, I'd say we get about 5 hours in a chunk, and then it's very much broken. Right, what we're going to do next, I'm going to do the chocolate cake mix next. Now, I'm going to do this, and I've never done this before, and I don't know why I always try and do these things live for the first time ever, but I'm going to use the Black Forest Gatto recipe in the Christmas book. By the way, anyone that's not sure, the Christmas book is available as an ebook, so you can still download it. Oh, moment of truth. Does the Ninja Foodie do them any better than the Ninja Oven? Because these look pretty decent in here. Do you know what? They have actually. They have. I could have pressed that one down a little bit more. But actually, that has come out. I'm going to come around that side and show you, because that's come out with a beautiful crust on that. It does look good, doesn't it? I'll just see if I can.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah. So that has got. I'm sorry, the quality of the video has just gone down again. That's got a really good, what feels like a crunchy crust on it. I can hear that it's hollow, so it's cooked. This one could have been pushed down a little bit more. You can sort of see it's a bit of a rock shape. Yeah, so it's a bit too round. It doesn't really sit properly. But that is sort of what I was expecting out of the foodie, because the air gets circulated around. So that's how cakes rise really well in there, because you get that air circulation. So that's, again, it's done perfectly. That's a really good version. I'm super impressed. That first time, I'm just going to weigh this now as it is. It will lose a little bit more. There you go, 102 grams. So as I said, it started its life off at about 140, and it's now down to 102. So it's lost 30% of the weight, which is all water weight. So the carbs are about 5 grams for that roll. We'll let it cool down. I'm really impressed with that. Really, really, really impressed with the quality of the crust on that. They look a little bit different, but they look as I would expect from them. Once these out, I'll put the cushions in, and we'll do the chocolate cake mix. So yeah, I'm going to make the Black Forest Gatto recipe. I'm halving the cake mix because I'm just doing one tray. I'm going to use the other silicone tray. I'm going to do it as a flat cake, and then I'm going to cut mini circles out of it to make little mini Black Forest cakes. Yeah, so they're going to be that size. So we've got a little cake collar. So they're going to be, I think it's not quite 2 inches. I think maybe 1.5 inches or whatever. But they're going to be that size. I'll just wait for this because there's no point me getting the bowl ready.
They look the closest to the ones in bed.
That shows the difference, and hopefully we'll be able to see the difference with the fan speeds, because you can't change the fan speed on this, although it does have an air fry setting. So maybe that would have helped. Don't know yet. So here you go. Here's the difference. Okay. So these have come out as they normally come out at home. Okay. So I will get some pictures. I know the colour's not great on there, but they're beautiful rolls. They're absolutely fantastic rolls. Way one. They should be similar. Yeah, hollow again. 103. So they've lost the same weight, exactly the same weight. 102, 100, 100. There you go. So they're all in range. This has got a slightly different crust. You sort of see there's a little bit more growth in the foodie version, little bit darker, but more than happy with that. More than happy. So I'm sure I'll change it again soon, but we're more than there with the recipe. That this has been the longest, most tweaked recipe I've ever had, because I've just gained such mixed results from it. Right, let me just look at my trays because I want this one in. So, what's the locutions on 15 minutes at 180? Look at that. Look at that. I didn't. Okay. So 180, 15 minutes. Bake. All right, I'm taking the fruit off. That's cooked down quite a lot. There's a little bit of liquid left in there, but not much. Now, I'm not going to add anything to this. All I'm going to do is I'm going to strain it to take out some of the liquid, which I can use. You can actually use it as like a cooling over the top of the cakes if you really, really want. If you want to thicken it, then you could whack in a little bit of agar agar and make that into a proper jam. Or xanthan gum. Agar agar is better. It just looks better, has a better texture. Okay, cake. Yeah, so I've never done this cake mix in this tray, but there's no reason why it won't work. Although what I do need, I'll put it in that, so I don't need to move it afterwards. 4 eggs. I'm going to make this using coconut milk and coconut oil. So the recipe in the book, I'm halving it. So I'm doing a 4-egg mix, not an 8-egg mix. I just don't need 8 eggs worth of cake. Not when we've got so much other stuff for the next few days. So it's 120 grams of coconut milk. I'll be honest, it's my preferred version anyway. The coconut milk and the coconut oil were always my favorite of the variations. There's another one awake. I can hear footsteps. Which one is it? Holly. Well, she needs to go straight out. She has to go straight out. She has no control. Good on the back. Good girl. Well done. Okay. they make great effort at trying to miss the mats. Vanilla extract. Obviously. There, isn't it? Yeah. She came back as well. Wow. You know, it shows how much of a hard night they all had again. Honestly. We're gonna, once we've done the session and tidied up and walked the big uns, those little ones are going to get chucked outside for a little while so they wake up properly. I don't care how cold it is. Okay. Let's get the dry ingredients in there. Coconut oil. I'm not sure whether I put it in the recipe here. Yeah, drizzle oil. Yeah, it's always last. It's always last, especially coconut oil. You can get away with butter going in there. You can get away with olive oil going in there early. Coconut oil has to be the last thing that goes in. Otherwise, it'll set. So, dry ingredients. 100 grams of sweetener. Baking powder. 4 teaspoons. It's a tub. Oh, there it is. Right in front of me. Uh, 40 grams of cocoa powder. I filled it up, yeah, managed to empty another one of those tubs. Right, I'm going to combine this first before we start adding and the flour. They settle down again?
Yeah.
Amazing, absolutely crazy. It's just gentle to start with because cocoa will just fly away with you. There you go. That's that in. And the flour, 60. Pinch of salt. Give that a mix. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I need to be fairly quick with this because obviously this is a cold mix. The coconut oil is liquid still, melted it, but I've then got it. It will start to firm up pretty much straight away. So it's then into the tray, and trying to level it out then a little bit. So it will sit on top. So a bit different to the other two fats. Butter and olive oil will combine a little bit easier. Coconut oil will look like it's just going to sit on top and do nothing, but just gradually work it in. So it turns it very silky, which is great. It's fantastic, but it's also going to turn it quite stiff as the coconut oil cools down. So that's great. It's almost like a chocolate mousse there. So it's thicker than normal batter. Yeah, that's nice. However, it's starting to go thick straight away. I contemplated doing this in a number of different molds. Again, this is the first time I've tried to do it in like a tray like this. Clearly, I'm going to have a little bit of difficulty getting it to be completely flat. However, I've got nothing else to do on a Sunday afternoon, so actually the tray might be too big for the cake. Let's see. Funny because I did think about using the Yule log mix.
It looked like it looked like
It's completely different. It's totally different to the Yule log mix actually. But it's the Yule log mix is pourable, isn't it?
Could you put a bit of baking paper on top and then push it on?
That is my next. It's getting there. Again, it's only this tough because it's coconut oil, not olive oil, not butter.
I prefer the paper as well.
Yeah. But yeah, it's getting there. I had thought the same suggestion there we just said about I'm going to use a piece of parchment. Perfect. And just push it through. Because it is obviously still going to rise. I mean, I don't know how much this is going to rise up in this tray. I'm not expecting a huge amount because it's already going to be sort of like 3-4 mils thick. They're going to be 2 stacked on top of each other with a bit of cream and jam in the middle of them. So they are going to be sort of, they're not going to lack height once they're made. So if I can get it to fit the tray, then great, because that means it's as thin as it possibly can get. It is pushing out. I mean, just the temperature of my hand is helping it push outwards. There we go. Obviously, we're going to have little offcuts of chocolate cake as well. Once we've made these, I said we can make a deconstructed Black Forest gatto, just like you do with an Eton mess. Bits of jam, bits of cream, and chunks of chocolate cake. Well, there you go. That's okay. That's that done. Okay. Right. Well, they're coming out in 1 minute 30, so I'm not going to open the oven early. This could go in now. Normally, surely it's 180. Yeah, 180 or usually 30 minutes, but this is nowhere near it because it's so thin. What we saying? 180 for 15? I think that works. We'll go with 15. What's the cake box?
Scraps.
Oh, scraps. No, I just like the idea of a deconstructed Black Forest gatto.
I
So
think actually what you said was really very exciting. You said Black Forest mess.
yeah, I did call it a Black Forest mess rather than an Eton mess.
You did.
So it's a Black Forest mess. Good. I'm going to ping it. Yeah. Right, what we got? We've got 38 seconds. I'm just going to put the tea in the microwave for 30 seconds. Yeah. Nice. They will be soft when they first come out, soft to touch, okay? But they're done. They're done. Don't. I did when I first did these. I popped them back in for another 10 minutes. They just didn't need it.
Sorry, my fingers.
They were not reheated. So yeah, as they cool, they'll go crispy on the outside, and obviously we're going to coat them in chocolate as well. So they are they're firm enough to sort of handle, but they still feel a little bit spongy. But I think because of the syrup that we've made them with, that must give them that sort of slightly crispy coating on the outside. Let's get them on here with this. So just looking at the time, the bread sauce, the infused milk has been on for about an hour now. What will happen is that the shallot will start to almost swell and fall to pieces. Yes. All right. Deep. Oh, that's good. So the first thing that you get from this is that the clove scent. They're still fairly solid, still fairly firm. This one's starting to push out, so you can sort of see the shallot pushing out here as it swells. So I'm just going to let them sort of carry on cooking for a little bit longer. I mean, actually, I do that as the very, very, very last thing, purely because it's just blitz it in the pan. So. Chocolate. We're going to Emma made some chocolate this morning. Just seeing the. Oh, so Emma made some homemade chocolate this morning. So she saved me some, which will be enough just to sort of reheat this and just dip the biscuits in there just to coat them. You can just use standard 85% if you want. Just pop. You probably need 50 to maybe 75 grams of chocolate. Depends how much chocolate you're going to put on them. You can get away with just melting 25 grams if you want to be really cautious about your carbs. Melt 25 grams and just drizzle over. So we might do that with these because it just looks quite pretty rather than lots of chocolate. Whatever. Right. Let's do, while the chocolate cake is cooking, the jam is done. Let's do the. I was going to do the panda stuffing mix. Yeah, I was going to do the panda stuffing, so I need this. I have got some cranberries with me as well. If I get time, I'll just put on a batch of cranberry sauce. But we did it a few weeks ago. We just ran out, so I thought I'd get some more today, and we can make some for Christmas. Although I happily eat cranberry sauce all year round, along with bread sauce. I'm not the panda stuffing mix as well, yeah. So this is a sage and onion stuffing, which I'm converting so you can. So we've got the pork version. I think it's on the website somewhere. But this is just a straightforward sage and onion stuffing, which obviously uses breadcrumbs as part of the mix. Hence the reason for the white panda rolls. All I'm doing, and there's no secret here. If you want to pandify something, then go and find a recipe. So I've got one here for Good Food Guide. It's the BBC Good Food website. And the only thing that needs changing, two things. One is the breadcrumbs. So replace them for a panda version, whether it's 92nd or whether it's these rolls. And the second is they use a large onion, and I'm going to use a couple of these shallots. I've got a couple of small ones. I've got one small one trimmed, half there. I'll use that. So I'm going to use about 100 grams of shallots, which has just reduced the carbs. We've gone down from 9 grams of carbs down to 3 for the same thing. The majority of the carbs in that recipe are breadcrumbs. So they're using 180 grams of breadcrumbs. Now their breadcrumbs probably, they're not saying, it says fresh. It says fresh. Okay, I'll let them off. Packet stuff is not fresh. Yeah, absolutely. Ooh. There we go. It's a shame you can't get cranberries all year round. Yeah, so just the two small changes on from the BBC website. We've taken out 50 grams, 60 grams of carbs. So we're gonna pan fry gently some sliced shallots, some sliced garlic. It's just an email.
It sounds like the internet dropping in.
No, it's not. In fact, I've got no warnings on there at the moment.
You dropping in instead, I think they knew.
No, they were clearly knackered from their 3 o'clock. Well, no, it was 2 o'clock last night, wasn't it? We went back to bed at 3 o'clock. Most of it, well, I mean, most manufacturers will, or most retailers will buy them in, or the suppliers will, do batches of them, as in when they're in season. They're probably force grown somewhere in the world as well. I mean, I can get cranberries all year round, but you have to buy them catering size, so you're looking at 20-30 kilos at a time, frozen. So fresh wise, that's why they only appear in the supermarkets for a couple of weeks. Yeah, you can always order frozen cranberries. So you can order them all year round. But you'll just need to order quite a lot in one go. Right. Medium heat, just to sort of soften the shallots. I would probably say garlic is the optional extra here. But your Paxo stuffing will definitely have garlic powder in it, along with all of the other garbage that's in there to bulk it out. Okay, so garlic in as well.
I guess you could use 90-second.
You can, any of the pandas. 90-second would work. You probably need 2 of those. I'm going to use 2 of these rolls, which is a little bit more than the recipe's calling for, but I can't remember what a 90-second weighs at. Oh no, actually, you'd need 3 90 seconds. They only weigh 60 grams, don't they? If you think about it, it's 1 egg, a little bit of panda, or whatever, ground almond. So yeah, that'll lose weight cooked. So yeah, you'd need, for this recipe anyway, you'd need, I mean, if you're going to make stuffing for Christmas Day, you're going to need to make a fair amount. Oh yeah, I've even got, yeah, following their recipe, it calls for a bay leaf. They never use bay leaves. Everyone probably has a jar of bay leaves in their spice drawer or whatever. We've got 2 drawers full of spices. Yeah, bay leaf powder, which I've got a box of it at the bakery. It's quite an intense flavour. You don't realise how strong it is until you've actually sort of crushed the thing up. So it clearly gives the dish some depth of flavour.
What would you use that in? With pork?
Any stocks, anything that's got, like a, it's going to sit for a while to sort of stew. Bay leaf in it. Perfect. Yeah, crab pot Thursday.
Is that our chicken that you said?
Yes, that is. Yeah. I thought I'd do it earlier. Wasn't sure about the oven. Add the garlic and the sage. Yes, I brought some sage with me. It's in there. Yeah. I mean, it is called sage and onion stuffing, so. Again, it's never going to weigh anything. That's probably like a gram and a bit that's just gone in there. It's a good couple of handfuls of, I mean, okay, let's say 2 tablespoons, just like teaspoons. But they call for 1.5. There you go. I added 1.5 tablespoons of dried sage. Right, I'm gonna cover that so it doesn't dry out. just let that essentially infuse. That is just going to get mixed in with breadcrumbs and egg, and then packed into a tray to be rebaked. Done. There's your stuffing done. What can I? Can't even see it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to wait 2 minutes to see what's happening to the cake, and then we'll decide what I'm going to do next. Okay. In fact, I can blitz some breadcrumbs up, can't I? I can do the breadcrumbs. I'll do one of each to be able to show you the inside then. So I'll do the balloon version of the foodie. So it's definitely got a firm crust. So it's actually a thicker crust than normal. I know the light's not great. Let me take a picture. That's definitely got a thicker crust. The crust is probably 5-6 mils thick. Take the light box out. This one was obviously normal oven, so it's sort of flatter bottom, just purely because of the air circulation. Slice this one through. So you can see, I can see the difference. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to see the difference greatly on the camera. This is cooked better. So considering it was exactly the same time and exactly the same temperature, shows you the difference in fan speed. This is cooked, but it's a little bit doughier. Now, you've heard me say it hundreds of times, allow pan to go cold before you slice it. So the reason why it looks doughier is because it's still warm. The fan has drawn out more of the moisture. In fact, that's probably a better view there. So the fan has drawn more of the moisture out, which is what it does at the bakery, than the standard oven. This is the problem when we've all got varying ovens. We're all going to get varying results. So okay, I get it. If we've all got a foodie, then we can guarantee you get that. But that's a really light inside. It's a light and fluffy bread inside. This is a little bit denser, so it's a little bit tighter, so you don't get as much in the air pockets. And it's obviously, you can see the difference in color as well. So this is much whiter. So they taste exactly the same. But that's a better cook. Really interesting. So yes, if you've got a foodie, then do your rolls in there. I wonder whether I even tried the oven at a higher temperature, and it doesn't actually have much of an effect. Oh, nice. Chocolate cake. 15 minutes at 180, Martin. 15 minutes at 180. Right, okay. Should have brought a bakery rack with me. I'll blitz these into breadcrumbs. We'll do the bread sauce. We'll do the stuffing. And yeah, we do need, but that's done. Yeah. Okay. Turn that off. Yeah, I need the cake to cool down, so I can cut it and then try and dress it. So let's do the breadcrumbs first. So blitz up a couple of these. So the stuffing recipe is calling for 180 grams of breadcrumbs. So it's going to be, well, yeah, these two that are broken open already. Yeah. 178. I ate 2 grams too much. Too much. Needs a bit more space to breathe. Also doesn't help that the bread's still a little bit warm. So smaller amount to give the blades a chance to actually so by one, oh, that'll do. Yeah, roast chicken, French stuffing, bread sauce. We might have a carrot. Yeah, Christmas part one.
We actually went to bed and miss it.
Oh, sick of alarms at the moment. You know when you go back to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and your alarm is still set for 5 or 6, where you think, oh God, no, please. Let's just have a day off. Okay. So bay leaf out.
Oh yeah, I would have put that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't. I suppose seasoning, salt wise. Let's not forget there's a little bit of salt in the bread, but probably not enough. One large egg. There really isn't a great deal of difference. But let's season that, and we definitely want a little bit of pepper in there. Yeah, not mustard. So all I want to see now is, will this come together? If it may need a little bit more egg. Obviously, we know that panda's quite. Oh no, there you go. There you go. I wasn't sure it was going to stick together, whether it was enough liquid to sort of get the panda to go, but it has. It's gone straight into. Needs cranberries. Yeah, well, I don't think I've got any dry cranberries here today. Yeah, that's formed into a. I mean, again, you can turn this into obviously little stuffing balls. I'll do this as a little mini loaf. I've got the little loaf tin. Because then, if it's in one big block, it's one portion. Isn't that right? Eh? You end up doing 10 bowls. It's like, well, how many's a portion? Well, seems rude to say 10, doesn't it? But yeah, that's holding together. Obviously, the egg is going to bind that. Let me get a little tin. Oh, little dinky one.
A little two-person.
It's a 2-person stuffing, yeah. All right. So should we see if the? Oh no, I can do the. Yeah, I'll do this. Because I can do this here. So you can see. If you've got one of these, then you can do it while the liquid is still hot. If you're going to do it in a jug blender, not this, that's not a jug blender. If you're going to do it in a jug blender or a bullet, then wait for the liquid to cool down at least a little, sort of like get it down to about 50 degrees. But with a hand blender, with a stick blender, you can go straight in. Might need to. We'll find out. We're just going to break it up. Oh, how good they are inside. That was the other one. Oh no, that's one of the other ones. They shows you the difference. Actually, I've ripped that one open rather than slicing it, and it doesn't look as doughy, just purely because it hasn't had a knife run along the edge. Actually, the crust on this one was quite decent as well. Not quite as thick as the foodie version. Stale bread's even better. Clearly, if you've got some, make some panda rolls and just let them sit for a couple of days. Just needs one. That's gone thick. That's all it takes. You know what? It's absolutely perfect. I mean, look at it. It's just perfect. It's just, I mean, it's got the hint of, excuse me, it's got the hint of cloves in there. I would go stronger, but it's not. That's not to everyone's taste. But that is like a million times better than any of those packet. Don't worry, the bowl won't be that full later.
It's like savoury porridge, and then
it is like a savoury. It's like a creamy, savoury porridge. That's just beautiful. Maybe a touch more salt, but again, you season it anyway. Right, let's get into that. So, am I down to cutting the cake? And I am. I only got that just in case I needed it. I wasn't sure how much coconut milk I had in the fridge. Yeah. Okay, so let's get perfect. I just want to tip it out.
You've got square ones, I think.
So the cutters, I almost brought it. I almost brought the square ones. Yeah. Hang on, I just want to sit again. I'll repeat just in case it doesn't work. I've never done this before, so I'm just going to gently take the cake. That's what I need. I'm going to take the cake out of the silicone. I did it in the silicone on purpose because it normally just, tips out no problem at all. Oh, you bugger. That's the problem. Well, at least we're going to be cutting it in little circles. Yeah, okay. That's fine. I'm going to run along that edge and get those first. Oh, nice. Mm. Yeah, perfect. Clean tray. So I just don't want to put where I've just been chopping garlic.
You're not finding anywhere in here where you're not chopping.
Yeah, no, true.
These are little celebration bites.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't get one there. It's that wind out there. Well, you could even do these as open
Yeah.
cream.
Yeah. With the cherry on it.
Well, yeah, I've actually got some cherries. I did buy some cherries. But no, we'll do them as mini gâteaux.
I could dust them on top with some ice and powder.
Yeah. That's missing a bit. That's for Louis.
What's the macros on these mini gâteaux?
Oh, blimey. I don't know. I mean, how many are we getting out of this? If I get 2, 3, 4, 5, so we've got 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, I don't think that's quite big enough for a full circle.
Make an open one.
So there's a 20. So there's, if I can get one more. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's Louis' second one. Yeah, that's wider. So I've got 24 circles out of that, which is obviously 12 stacks. And then the rest of that will break up into a deconstructed Black Forest.
You could dehydrate it a bit and use it as a trifle base.
You could, do you know what? I did think that as well. Yeah.
Because we've got jelly.
I didn't want to do too much. I mean, that's a fair amount as it is. Right. I'm going to have to let them cool down. I can't put anything in that at the moment. Let's see if I can. Yeah.
You put them in the fridge.
Yeah, it's a good idea, actually. I can stick them outside. That's where I use at the moment. I blow away.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. She's back. We'll give them 10 minutes in the fridge, and then we'll tap a couple. Okay. No, you stay there. You stay there. Not getting uptime yet, Coco. No, 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 no. Okay. Actually, the jam has sort of thickened up as well. So I don't need to do anything with that. Sweet enough. Still got that slight tartness, but the Kushkins then. Where's that silver chocolate? Go. I'm around here. They're sleeping still. Go. Stay there. No. Stay there.
It won't need very long.
There you go. So I've just quickly reheated the chocolate. So I'm actually going to dunk them and put them on. So really quick. And if I show you now, so these have gone so quite firm, and they've got a bit of a crunch to them when you snap them. So again, they've got a nice layer, so crunchy layer. They've got a beautiful crunchy layer. Oh, good. Have you got your? You say you had some glitter stuff. What was it?
I do.
What was it?
They're spices. There's pink, golden, silver. Yeah.
How do you use it?
You just press the nozzle very gently. This comes out quite little.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The gold one's nicer though.
Okay. This is a glitter spray. I don't know. Are we meant to be eating it?
Probably not.
It
Once a year is alright, isn't it?
it has no ingredients. Okay. I'm guessing it doesn't grow on a tree.
Best before 2026, so at least I'm doing.
Well, okay. So we're still in date. We just don't know what it.
Can't say that brand too fast.
What's it called? Betty Winters. Do you not know Betty Winters?
Should I? Yeah, you see how it is what I'm talking about. There we go. You can make little gold and silver, like little baubles, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So again, you can dress them. So you got a gold one as well. There's a 5 spice one there. It looks like as well. Hang on.
Yeah.
There you go. My sparkly. Look how they're glittering in there. Look at them. My sparkly lead cushions. And we'll do the rest later. Proper gingery. Oh, are we getting awakened time?
No, she's just dreaming.
Oh, right.
Oh, maybe.
However, they are really really lovely. I mean, I know I've made them, and I know I've put the recipe together, but they are really lovely. They have a great crunch to them, and then the soft inner. Beautiful. I'm looking for a small bowl now. Right, and just to finish up, we'll just do a couple of the Black Forest minis. Yeah, I better not eat too many of those, had I? I'm going to send them to Martin. After Christmas, mate. Not putting them in the post here. Yours, right? Right, yeah. I'll do you an extra special batch. I don't know what's going to be special about them.
You're still making buttery.
I'll make Martin. Do you want gold or do you want silver?
Okay.
Pink.
I've got hot pink.
You got hot pink. Martin, you're getting hot pink. Yeah, you got no choices now. Hot pink.
Oh, sorry.
Yes,
Oh.
that's cream.
This wax cheese.
No, I'm just going to whisk up a little bit of cream. This might not be of interest to you, but maybe so. The people that maybe want to avoid the Arla produced milks and creams and those sorts of things, then there are options out there. Not easy, hence why we had to buy this earlier in the week, which is an Arla product, Sainsbury's. But this is from Morrison's, which is a Longley Farm Jersey extra thick, extra rich cream. So, and actually, you see the difference. So, you hopefully can. It's quite white. We all know what double cream looks like. It's quite white. This stuff is sort of a deeper yellow. You can actually see it on the camera. It's really good stuff. It's an independent farm, although they supply to supermarkets. So, and I've known the name of the company for a long time. So there are options if you are looking to avoid the Arla stuff. Okay. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this. I'm going to whip some of this up. It's crazy how the color difference in the bowl between the two different creams. So the better quality cream whips so quickly, just so quickly.
I've been there all day.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very small amount, but yes, Cornish clotted cream, of course. Now you choose how you want to do this. I don't mean the argument about is it jam or cream before on a scone. I.e., you could choose to do the two in the same layer. I mean, that is a proper open.
Yeah, it looks pretty. Actually.
You could do the two together. So you got a nice little stack. Or you could do
Cream on the inside.
you could pipe it if you wanted to. All I'm saying with that is that you can decorate the top. I'll do that one on the inside. Wow. Cacao.
They're just there in front of behind the beauty.
Oh, do you know what? I thought I'd got them out and then they thought I'd put them away. A little bit of cacao nibs on top. So, either way, up to you. You could do those. You could use obviously an even smaller cutter if you wanted to, but those are perfect little. No, you've got to have jam first. Jam first in that one.
There's a little cherry that's fallen off.
Oh, there you go. Dressed with a cherry on top. Well, it's actually a blackberry, but it'll do. It's part of the Black Forest fruits. Wow. A perfect afternoon tea. You're right. I'm not going to reheat my tea for the second time. We'll make a fresh pot. I'm done. Thank you very much. The roll recipe, I will put it out tonight on a not on the main website, just the sort of like the temporary recipe site that I've been building as we go along. As proved today, it works better in something with a high fan speed, i.e. if you've got an air fryer. Do you know what? Look at that. Most people have got an air fryer. It'll probably work. Turn it down to 180, put it on air fry mode, whatever it is you've got. And that should, it's about drawing that moisture out as quickly as possible. And that's what creates the rise and gets you the nice fluffy inside. The slower the bake, the tighter the dough. So that's fan speed. That's got nothing to do with temperature at all. Stuffing, I'll write that up as well. It's just the macros on it, but the macros for the stuffing are going to depend on the bread, whatever you use. Everything else is low. What else have we done? The cushions are already up there. They're fantastic. They're very easy to make. No one is going to think that they are sort of low carb or sugar free. So for anyone that struggles with cravings, you know what? There you go. There's a perfect biscuit to go with a cup of tea. And then the mini cakes. I mean, you don't have to make huge chocolate cakes, which are always going to be cumbersome, and difficult to portion. You can make your own portions, and those now, the macros on those individuals are less than that's in the book, because the book says I think 12 or 16 portions. Yeah. They'll be less. They'll be lower than the macros in the book, because so you can have two. Obviously not here next Sunday. Well, not here now until potentially on a Sunday until the end of January, because every Sunday is booked out for a session. So if any, there's actually a few people book on this week for the day ones. Have I frozen? No, we're back. Okay. So just for anyone watching who is interested, the sessions are all held at the bakery in Wollaston. There's a couple of different options that you've got to sort of choose from.
Oh, Emma, take you back.
Yeah, I think I'm back. He's saying I'm fairly good.
Oh.
Thank you. I'm getting a compliment from the internet. I'm fairly good. Yeah, day ones, those that maybe haven't used Panda much, and you'd like to learn some of the basics, and just essentially we're going to make some bread, some cakes, some wraps, and just to sort of introduce you to the idea of how to implement it into your sort of day-to-day life. A day two version is a little bit more advanced, where we've already done the basics and we're now going to create sort of how we put Panda and protein together, so how we sort of balance it, what we consider Pandavore. So understanding how Panda can fit in across sort of like the whole week. It replaces just huge amounts of carbs, enormous amounts of carbs. If you think that for every 100 grams of Panda, you only got 9 grams of carbs, and that's replacing 300 grams of standard flour, which is 150 grams of carbs, so and higher. So day one and day two are a little bit different. If you've got some experience on Panda and you're sort of fairly confident in the kitchen, then a day two is fine. Come along to that. We sort of with the day two, you get to choose from a list of things. So you get to make what you want on those days. There'll be a selection available of savouries and sweets, and you get to choose. And generally, there's 2 or 3 people making the same thing, and you can work together. The one-to-ones which are available, and that's a day completely by yourself with me at the bakery, are there for you to experiment on things that you want specifically. So, we're not sort of creating a schedule for many. It is individual sort of schedule. Focus on how to sort of implement, and not just about Panda either, because what I do is help people understand about macros. So I do this regardless whether you're in a Panda day one or a Panda day two. It's understanding macros and getting a sort of a confidence around food again. So a one-to-one is something that you can use to restart your year, clear out sort of some misconceptions about sort of what keto is or what low carb is, and hopefully give you some confidence to go away and prepare your own, because like we sort of said earlier, it's easy to fall off because there's so many other options out there. If you know how to make these things and can do it fairly confidently at home, you will never look at a supermarket shelf and go, oh, I missed that. Absolutely not. There is so few things that I've gone, do you know what, I'll have to get back to you on that one. When this recipe came in for these biscuits, I'm like, never made them in my life. 10 minutes later, first batch were in the oven. So have a think. We've got spaces on the January sessions. One-to-ones can be done during the week predominantly. So have a think about what might suit you best, and then we'll plan others in February and March and whatever. So we'll just see how it all goes. So yes, I'll see you all soon. Members, see you Monday night as normal. Hats with bubbles on or bells on, and jumpers with silly snowmen. And then Friday for a nice exercise session. And then I'll plan to do some lives during the week, because I'm going to be busy on Sundays. I'll plan to do some lives during the week in the new year. I have thought about doing some of the basic stuff. So not even Panda, but the KFC side. So looking at WTF, looking at FFS, and for all those people that are just starting out, how do you, again, get started? Right, going out for a dog walk. I will see you next week sometime. Have a good one. Bye-bye.